Protection Encouragement Agency, author of the Cradle to Cradle, Remaking the Way We Make Things, the Bible of the circular economy, who was translated in many languages. Ladies and gents, are you ready? Ladies and gents, Michael Braungart.
So thank you for inviting me to be here, and I could understand the first speeches very well, but then it was too fast for me. I had Spanish at school, so, but that was too fast. I'm here, and I would like to thank you for all your great initiatives, what you're doing. And I would like, on the other side, to throw the ball a little further, just to say, can we do something which makes not just circular economy, but really an economy which is profitable with that as well, so which makes sense for economy as well? And how can we make a footprint which is not just there to be minimized, but a beneficial footprint? So I would like to come back and ask you, this is not about one circular economy, it's about two circular economies. Things which you consume when you use them, like food, like shoe soles, like brake pads, need to go to biological systems. This is one cycle. So when you see, for example, outside these flip-flops, they make tires into flip-flops. This sounds like circular economy, but this is just stupid. It doesn't make sense. Because when these flip-flops end up in the ocean, they kill the animals there. So we need to say what is the right thing instead of making wrong things circular. And with that, the things which get consumed need to go to biological systems. Things which are just services, like a washing machine, like a TV set, need to go to technical cycles. So it's not one circular economy, there are two circular economies. It's important, otherwise we are contaminating the whole biosphere with dangerous materials, and that cannot be the case. So this is why it's not about zero waste, because when you think about zero waste, you still think about waste. When I tell you don't think about a pink elephant, you think about an elephant. So when you think about zero waste, you still think about waste. But nature doesn't know waste. It's a human projection. So we are making waste. So nature is only making nutrients. But because we want to use technical things as well, we have biological nutrients and technical nutrients. But before we go into these severe things, I first want to ask you something. Who is having an affair right now? So just raise your hand. In the United States, we say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I will not tell anybody. So, but just because I made a terrible mistake in Austria, and because we are in political sensitive times here, I don't want to make the same mistake again. Microphone. So nobody's having an affair, it's okay. So I can ask you just simply, so how is your relationship with your husband or your boyfriend? What do you say, sustainable? Then I would say, oh, I'm so sorry, because I had the Minister of Economy of Austria in one of my speeches, and he came just because he wants to do the country a cradle-to-cradle country. And he came in, and I said, dear Minister, how is your relationship with your wife? And is it sustainable? Then he stood up and he left, because it was in newspapers the day before that he has an affair with his secretary. So it's better I first ask the question in it, so it helps. So I'm talking about quality and innovation. For example, if you drink champagne, Prosecco, Cava, you need to make your decision. You saw this little pamphlet, this little green hand, what you can do to minimize your footprint. If you drink champagne instead of Cava, you can reduce your carbon footprint by 3 times because the bubbles in champagne are much smaller. Isn't it nice? Or you can, can I go back? So if you eat oysters, circular economy, In each oyster we find 1,500 pieces of plastic. Yeah. Because it's plastic from the oceans. Each oyster is filtering about 60 liters of water. Yeah. So if you eat oysters, you do circular economy. Isn't it nice? Yeah. Yeah. So easy to save the planet. Yeah. There is the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, who makes circular economy very popular. There are a lot of companies, as well, Spanish companies in that, but they still keep the old thinking in it. This is now McKinsey talking about biological materials and technical materials. That's not. It's a biological nutrient, and it can be a technical material as well. So if you're half educated, it doesn't help you. Yeah. So it's like, it's more knödel to knödel or noodle to noodle. It's not cradle to cradle. Yeah? So, or spaghetti to spaghetti, whatever. Yeah? So it's about thinking about nutrients. Here you see it differently. Look, circular economy looks nice at a certain point, but is it really, when you do this circular economy forever, you stay in the same paradigm. Yeah? If you want to come back to this planet, you want to come back as a rabbit forever? No, it's not about circular economy. Circular economy per se is linear thinking in cycles. Yeah. But then linear thinking is better because you end somewhere else at least. Yeah. So it's about upcycling, not just keeping the intelligence in it, but to add more to it. A baby takes about 5,000 diapers. Yeah. So you can reduce it by 10%. Does it really help? No, it just keeps us busy. We can compensate it within China in seconds if you reduce it a little bit. 20% of Madrid's waste stream are now diapers. And to give you good news with that, the adult diapers for old people are already, the volume is bigger than of baby diapers. Yeah? So this is the future. Yeah? It's your future, diapers. Yeah? So we can, I mean, this mountain is just from 1 year. So does it help you to reduce it by 10%? No. We have plastic in the oceans, 150 million tons. Every year we add about 10 million tons. What does it help if I minimize it by 10%? No, we need to design it differently. So there are about 40 million flip-flops going into the oceans every year. So they need to be designed, if you lose them at the beach, that they can go back into biological systems. Otherwise, it's a wrong thing. With my students, I walk along the beaches and I'm picking up birds and other animals, and we find about 600, 700, 800 pieces of plastic in such a bird. The whole bird becomes a big stomach, and then they die with full stomach. Yeah. Does it help if I reduce it by 10%? No, I do the wrong thing. So if you make the wrong things perfect, they're just perfectly wrong. We need to look for different things which really matter. Right now we are losing 5,000 times more topsoil than we make. Yeah. So now we are growing corn, for example, in the north to make biogas. We are losing between 11 and 30 tons of topsoil per hectare in a year. Yeah. So we really need to come up with different ideas with that. And sure. So we need to recover phosphorus, for example. Look, people, I think a lot of you like to eat organic food, isn't it? But there's not one organic label which allows that my own nutrients can go back. It's only organic without me. Yeah. Every day we need to pick up 2 grams of phosphate to make bones and teeth and store energy in our body. Every day we need to release it. But there's no organic label, no Nature Progrès or whatever label in different countries which allows that my own phosphate can go back. Phosphate is far more rare than oil. Yeah, and we are dependent on 2 countries like Morocco and China, which control 70% of the phosphate of the world. Yeah. So if you don't get phosphorus back, we are too many people on this planet. So I'm analyzing things. I look for where does contamination come from? Because indoor air quality in a building is about 3 to 8 times worse than outside urban air. Asthma in Spain, in Italy, in France, in Germany is the most relevant children's disease. So each peak, what you find here is one chemical which is off-gassing. The peaks are relatively low compared to children's toys here. We are now doing more and more ecologism, which doesn't really help the ecology, but it keeps us busy. So, for example, the European Union is banning 64 chemicals in children's toys instead of 39 before. But we find in children's toys about 600, 700 dangerous toys, chemicals. So only 10% is banned from that. Yeah. So it doesn't help. So people said, oh yes, we need a wool carpet because this is polyamide. And you see, the peaks are much higher because the sheep was not designed for being a carpet. When you try to make a sheep into a carpet and make it red wine resistant, you're not in touch with the wool at all. You're in touch with Teflon. That's it. And Teflon is off-gassing strongly, and very unhealthy peaks. And the peaks are much higher, as you see. Now we make these cardboards, because when you're printing an IKEA catalog, when you make an IKEA catalog and you print this catalog in China, it has about 90 dangerous chemicals in it. When you print it in Europe, it has about 50 dangerous chemicals in it. So if you have this catalog, you cannot burn it and you cannot compost it when you want to use the compost in agriculture and you want to use the ash in agriculture. But where is the difference whether you get shot 50 times or 90 times? What's happening now is that the fillers, the materials from paper recycling, go into cardboards. And then with one pizza, you eat 1/3 of a business card just from inks, from chemicals, from printing. And we call it circular economy. That doesn't make sense. We have a lot of these things. Toilet paper is never made for recycling. So if you take a high-speed train toilet paper, you analyze it, it contaminates with, at the minimum, 1.2 million liters of water, higher than drinking water standards, just with 1 kilogram, because it's never made for circularity. I'm analyzing human milk now for breast milk since now for 28 years. There's not one sample which you can sell as drinking milk. And it's a whole planet, whether you are in the north or in the south, east and west. The samples of human milk exceed legal limits for several hundred times. So it's not a little bit more. But still, if you're planning to have babies, and I can tell you, I can just highly recommend it, and don't wait till you have the right partner, because you're not that perfect as well. So don't say, oh, the Mr. Right is not there. Because in my generation now, I have a lot of friends and colleagues which are really suffering that they